Hello, everyone. My name is Stanley St. Rose, and today we're going to be talking about The Fountainhead, written by Ayn Rand or Ayn Rand. So the pronunciation is tough on this one. But before we go into summary analysis of this work, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and/or comment so that the channel can continue to grow. All right, so the Fountainhead, really interesting work here. Very complex. I mean, we're looking at a society filled with people that, you're looking at people of power, people that have money, people of high society. Um, we're following this man, by the name of Howard. So we're gonna use first names here because there's a lot of people within this work, a lot of important people, and a lot of pieces to this work. So Howard is this modern architect. He was in college, but he wasn't following the old ways of being an architect, the historical ways of designing. He's a more modern, more creative, and the society that he lives in, they don't like that. They don't like, the creativity, the independence that he brings, and so he's pretty much out. All right, his friend Peter Keating, he's inferior. He's not that good. He's pretty much a bottom feeder, getting help from his friends or people that are better than him, and he's a survivor. He's like a con man. He'll do whatever it takes to keep going, to be an architect. But he's not a great designer. He's not a genius, like Howard. Um, so so the story goes on. After school's over, college is over, we see Peter get a job, and we see Howard get a job. Howard, since he wasn't the star in college, he just gets a job that's not really where he wants to be. He's working, but then his boss, the practice doesn't work out. The boss has to retire, and Howard is just finding his place within the world of architecture. Keating, him, he found a good job. He's climbing the ranks. He's manipulating people. He's a snake. All right. He's doing whatever it takes, for him to make it in this world. Now, Howard meets this woman by the name of Dominique. Dominique's father is the owner of the firm where Peter works. And Dominique and Howard, they start this relationship where Howard rapes her. This is very strange because Howard and Dominique, they have a very violent sexual sex life where Howard just rapes her, and that's just their relationship, and they just have violent sex. And then Dominique starts to steal Howard's work because the world is not ready for Howard's genius. So this does kind of throw you off because you're like, well, she was just raped. I mean, shouldn't this be a whole police story now? But no, that's not what it is. It's like, yeah, these people are. It's like throughout the work, Dominique is trying to punish herself. It's a little demonic, honestly, because like she marries a bunch of people. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but her marriages, her relationships, a lot of them are to punish themselves, which begs the question. I've never really dive into this reality of thinking or the genre of thinking, but well, do people punish themselves through putting themselves to horrible sexual relationships because of guilt or things that they've done, so they don't believe that they deserve love, and so they find themselves and put themselves in horrible situations where they're getting beaten or raped or assaulted by their partners because they think they deserve it? I mean, that's a whole genre that I've never really thought about, but this was just deranged to me. But yeah, Dominique is that type of person. She's working for a tabloid. She seems to be a normal functioning adult, but the whole sexual deviant behavior with the raping and the violent sex, and getting into a relationship that ultimately that with people that she doesn't truly love, because she loves Howard. Okay, she truly loves him, but she denies herself that, and she's with Keating. Then after Keating, she ends up with Gail Wynand, and she doesn't really love them, Keating and Wynand. I mean, she starts a relationship with them. She marries them, but she's not truly in love with them. She's really, she wants Howard. She's always wanted Howard. So really strange stuff. So we see the Dominique, Howard, and Gail. They actually become good friends. Howard designs the house for a house for Dominique and Gail. Gail and Howard, they become good friends, and we see this other individual that comes, Ellsworth. He comes into the picture, Ellsworth Toohey, and he wants to destroy Howard also, because he doesn't want this like independent genius creator, architect, running around and being an individual. He wants conformity. He wants people to follow him. He wants to be a visionary, and he seeks out to destroy Howard with all types of schemes and projects, and making him do jobs, and then suing him and making him use his own money, and trying to corrupt his who he is, trying to ruin his integrity. It really goes all over the place, and Toohey, Ellsworth Toohey, he meddles. He's a meddler. But all these people, they have money, and they're just trying to ruin each other's lives. Ultimately, we do see Keating reach out to Howard to help him design this project, because Keating, his company was floundering, and so he reached out to Howard to help him out. Howard agrees to help him out, and then he's like, "Don't mess with my art, don't mess with my work. I want it done how I want it done." But then Keating messes with it anyway, because they're not gonna listen to Howard, and then Howard just blows it up. And he gets arrested. He goes to court. He defends himself, and the jury lets him off, because the jury is like-minded with Howard, and they want creativity, that whole modern creativity, not adhering to past historical ways of architecture and in the ways of the past, while people like Keating, Toohey, they want conformity, and Howard York, he doesn't stand for all of that. So ultimately, what we see is Dominique, she marries Howard by the end of it. Dominique and Gail, they get divorced after the trial, and Dominique and Howard, they do end up together. They get married, and then um, Gail actually gives Howard another project in New York to build a skyscraper that resembles the spirit of Howard, and also the spirit of people or society. And the work ends, I guess, in a happy way with the friendship between Howard and Gail are not the same, but Dominique and Howard, they end up together with their weird sexual relationship of violence and just strange stuff. In terms of deeper meaning and analysis, this work is quite. There's a lot, Um, it's a bunch of powerful people living in a society. A lot of them, you have con men, you have people who think that they are visionaries or philosophers. Basically, they want to see society how they want to see it. And I guess when you're an architect, you are designing the world. You are building structures and buildings that will stand for hundreds of years, that resemble beliefs and values about a country, about a city, about what's going on in the world. So every building is like a statement, and every building within a city says something, because it will stand there for a very, very long time, hundreds of years even. And so I guess architects sometimes they do get into that philosophical realm of what do I want to say with my building, because it's not just a building, it's art. So it's kind of strange that you have people within college, within this community, that just wants conformity and they don't want creativity, because creativity is really great when you're designing buildings. Art is great when you're designing buildings because you're saying something about the culture that will last for future generations to see. And if you don't have any creativity, it all becomes just a factory like city with gray colors and black colors and dark colors, and it becomes a sad, depressing city with no personality. Um, Other than that, I mean, this is quite deranged with the sexual relationships and the personal relationships. Everybody, the people of high power trying to destroy the little guy, and they don't want anybody to they don't want anybody to climb up the ranks, and it's really interesting. But in high society, this is common behavior. In high society, where it's very competitive, where people are just trying to one up each other, this makes sense. Honestly, I see a lot of America within this, because in America, especially in the 1% area, with the 1%, people like this, they want power, they want success, they want to dominate, they want their vision, their ideologies to reign over other people's. And when somebody comes along like Howard, and they want to set up their own ways of thinking and their own methods, they will seek to destroy that. But ultimately, I guess we can say there's a happy ending, because, well, the Dominique and Howard, they end up together, and Howard keeps on designing the way that he wants to with his own independence and free thinking. Um, so so there's a fight for individualism and um, personality within this work, and Howard keeps on fighting, and ultimately, I guess we can say he won. In terms of the people and their characters, oh man, these are nasty characters. I mean, a lot of these characters are dark and evil. A lot of these characters are dark and evil, and they have a lot of problems. They do have a lot of problems, from the snakes to con men to sexual deviance to self-hatred, suicide, you name it. All these characters portray traits of um, just darkness. I don't know. Does that say something about when you have lots of power and money? Does it turn your soul into something nasty? I mean, lots of religions say that money corrupts, and power corrupts, and these people do represent that to a certain extent, because all these people with lots of money and lots of influence and lots of power in the society, their characters seem to resemble that their souls are damaged, or they have certain problems about themselves, or they want to hurt themselves or hurt others, or watch other people suffer, or keep people down. So that's something that deserves unpacking and looking into. So that's all I had to say about this work. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe, and or comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video.